Hello and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Wrestling Podcast with LunaKage and Mr.
That's him. And it's also me.
That's the guy.
That's us.
That's the person.
We've been away for a while.
It feels like it's been a little
But now
longer
we're
than it
back
has
to
been.
kick some butt at Wild Canyon.
Yeah, the last pay-per-view we did was Night of Champions? No, Hell in a Cell. One of those.
We did do the pay-per-view before Survivor Series.
Yeah, whatever which one it was. Note the fact that we don't care about those pay-per-views because we didn't remember them.
I mean, you're not really supposed to.
No, I guess.
They want you to.
They won't.
But they don't do a very good job at it.
Night of Champions is supposed to be okay.
I mean, it
was
alright.
It was alright.
But I mean, it's, we're adults now, so it's hard to keep track of fucking every single month. Back in the day when, I was a small children.
When you were small children?
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
That's why I'm so big, because we fucked up the fusion dance.
There's multiples of you, yes, I understood.
we fucked up the fusion dance.
Fella!
Yeah. So, but yeah, when I was a small child, fucking, it felt like an eternity between pay-per-views. But now it's like fucking you blink and you're at the next one.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, how many fucking years has it been since the last pay-per-view?
So tonight's episode is about Survivor Series 2015. Let's do a quick run-in to Survivor Series because the events surrounding Survivor Series kind of set it up in a very awkward manner. So, Seth Rollins is World Heavyweight Champ. And he tears his ACL.
He tears his everything.
And I saw the video where he does it. It doesn't look like much, but
yeah, I mean, it's usually never much.
No, his knee's just disgusting. And when you tear an ACL, you're fucked.
He tore
you're out for a minute.
He tore 3 separate things in his knee.
Oh,
actually,
Christ!
It was an ACL, I think PCL, and a meniscus.
Meniscus, probably.
I have no idea what those words mean, so if I fucked any of them up, I apologize.
I think the main 3 are usually ACL, MCL, and meniscus.
Yeah, it might be. It was 2 CLs. Maybe it might have been powered CL.
God damn it! God damn it.
And then there was a 3rd thing. So he tore 3 major things in his knee, and he fucked it really good. So he's not going to be able to CrossFit for a while.
No, CrossFit Jesus is out for an expected 6 to 9 months.
Oh man.
So
my silver lining to this was that there's a super easy fucking Shield reunion angle to be had from this.
My silver lining to this is that he doesn't job to Roman.
You could say that, but instead of him jobbing to Roman,
yeah,
we got someone else jobbing to Roman in 5 minutes.
We'll get there, fam. Anyway, so now the Vacant has the World Heavyweight Champion
once again. He's catching
so
up on
good.
Ric Flair's record.
I think he's at 14. I legitimately think
for the last couple of years he's at 14.
Yeah. So Vacant is if he's not in the Hall of Fame within the next 5 years, I'm gonna be really mad.
And people might be saying he's had the title for 32 times, but no, you're also counting Vacant's father, Vacant Senior,
yes.
And that doesn't count.
No, Vacant Senior is his own separate person. Yeah. Please. So we had a tournament to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and
which was a super good idea.
Which is a super good idea. It made Raw interesting for a hot minute. And Roman won. Surprised nobody.
Well, yeah, he won. You just got ahead of us so quickly.
Well, this is the build-up. But then there's the.
No, this is not the build-up because the tournament wasn't over until the main event of Survivor Series.
No, there was the tournament to determine number 1 contention, the number 1 contender, and then there was Vacant because remember Roman.
Was there a tournament to decide the number 1 contender? I thought it was a little.
It was a something. I thought it was. I thought there was a tournament, not a big one.
Oh yeah,
but a smaller one.
It was one of those weird TNA style tournaments. It was the 8 people or whatever that won.
Yeah.
At Hell in a Cell. It was Hell in a Cell. Yeah, the 8 people that won at Hell in a Cell.
I don't even think they mentioned that. They just threw in 8 people.
No, they did.
Did they really?
And I thought that was a super good idea because it actually made all the matches at Hell in a Cell matter. But the 8 people that won their matches at Hell in a Cell, including certain tag team matches, they had a singles match throughout the night. And the 4 winners of those singles matches had a fatal 4-way in the main event.
Okay.
That's right.
It was something like that.
And then Roman won that one.
Yeah, Roman won that, and then like literally the week afterwards, Seth has to vacate the title because his knee's all shredded, and they have a tournament to determine who's gonna go for the number one, who's gonna go for the title. Roman has the option to side with Triple H and set himself back to the number 1 contender position and be in the finals.
Everyone wanted him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to do it. My dick was getting hard.
I know. We want heel Roman. We want heel Roman.
Just stop.
Give us heel Roman. And instead, we have a big old tournament, and then the last couple matches of this tournament happened within Survivor Series.
The semifinals and the finals.
The semifinals and the finals. So we'll pick that back up when that's there. But that's important news. Next most important news was that the quarterfinal match Roman had to win to get to the semis for the pay-per-view was against Cesaro. And Cesaro put that motherfucker on his back. And it still didn't matter because at the end of that match, Cesaro was way more over than Roman. Yeah. He put him on his fucking shoulders. Cesaro busted out all the hot shit to try and make Roman look good, and he couldn't do it because he just made himself look good. But there's a sad story to this. Cesaro tore his rotator cuff.
Yeah. Fucking Cesaro's out for like 6 months.
He's out for 4 to 6 months at a time that I'm so sad because.
And like the thing is, like I mentioned the silver lining with Seth. You know, when he comes back, there's going to be the huge to do, and you know he's going to be right back in the main event. Yeah. But when Cesaro comes back, people are probably going to cheer for him. That's if he even gets announced as a comeback instead of just making a random appearance. He gets Eric Rowan back in. Yeah, like you know the WWE's not going to give a fuck about him when he returns. Because like
Cesaro had something going, and they're trying their very best to not give him anything. Yeah. To like book him to not be cool. And he was hanging on there for a bit, man. He was over. People were loving Cesaro, and now we get 4 to 6 months of no Cesaro. Yeah. It's just like,
I mean, absence does make the heart grow fonder, and I know when he comes back, you know, it's going to be great to see him regardless. But
will the machine even blink?
I don't know, and that's the thing that sucks. Like, will the machine even want him back? Will the machine just be like, we're going to let you go? I highly doubt it, because even they realize what they have in Cesaro. Yeah. Even Vince could say fucking no main event push for you is all like. As much as he wants, but he realizes that Cesaro goes out there and gets shit done. So I don't think we got to worry about losing Cesaro unless he wants to go himself. Yeah, personally.
It's just super sad because I'm a massive Cesaro mark.
Yeah.
So
it's hard not to be.
He's so good.
He's so fucking good. And I remember it makes me laugh so hard when I look back to his debut because like this was like 2012 or something, and I hated the guy. Like, I had this weird thing against new people back, like, even that long ago, which wasn't even that long ago. Like, because I always thought, like, I don't like people because there's so many more people that need to fucking do stuff. So I hate new people. It was like a weird fucking, quirk I had back then for some reason. But I hated him especially. And I think it might have even just been because every time a new person debuts, they're a heel. So it's like, I gotta get used to a new douchebag. But Cesaro was a heel. Yeah. His gimmick was that he was stealing Teddy Long's girl. That was his gimmick. And he had gigantic nipples.
Captain Pepperoni nipples.
Yeah, so like, I was like, no, this guy's weird. I don't really like him that much. But like, the more I watched him, the more I was like, man, he's really fucking good. And, I fell in love with him just like everyone else did.
One day, Cesaro. One day, hopefully.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, at the rate we're going now, by the time he comes back, he'll be like 6 months, right? Yeah. This will give everyone else in the company time to get injured so that he'll get back. At this point, it'll be like Cesaro versus Sasha Banks for the WWE title.
There's like, the roster is so injured and out and away and like temporary that like all your big hitters are just not there right now. So we need people like Cesaro really
even
bad.
John Cena's gone, albeit for a different reason.
Cena's on break. Yeah. Bryan's injured. Yeah. Brock shows up whenever.
Yeah.
Orton's out. And Orton's not even doing much anyways, but he's Orton.
Yeah.
He's even gone.
Like, I think the reason why Raw has been so shit the last, forever, but the reason why Raw has been especially shit after Survivor Series, not only because of who the main event picture is right now, but also because Vince, all of his favorite guys are gone, so he's like in panic mode. And he's like, I don't know what to do. All he has left
is the guy he wants to make his favorite, and no one else does.
It's like, I don't even know how to fucking write for these people right now.
The booking across the board has been absolutely god-awful.
Yeah.
It's so horrendous. But I think we'll talk a little bit more about that after the Survivor Series run-through, because post-Survivor Series Raw, we've got some things to bring up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move into Survivor Series. The pre-show match is a traditional 5v5 tag match.
Yeah, the Survivor Series tag match on the pre-show. Some people wouldn't like that because, it's Survivor Series, have the Survivor Series matches on Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And I get it. But again, you got to realize what the pre-show is for.
Mm-hmm.
So, in theory, assuming we didn't have the card for Survivor Series that we had, in theory, putting a low-card Survivor Series match on the pre-show is a great idea.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is a preview of what you're going to get, assuming that one of the actual main events is a Survivor Series match. Obviously, this year it wasn't, but, just talking about why it's a good idea to have a Survivor Series match on the pre-show. Mm-hmm. Especially if you got guys like Neville and shit on that particular...
Yeah, I was at first against it, only because I didn't realize that there was another Survivor Series elimination match.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the only one, then yeah, it'd be stupid.
Because I only thought about there being one, because I thought everyone else was busy doing other things.
But I mean, in fairness, the Survivor Series match we did get in Survivor Series was also inconsequential.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, both of them were dumb.
Yeah, well, one had talent behind... Well, one had people who were over behind it. But actually, I kind of like this match. Its team face is Neville, Dudley Boyz, Titus O'Neil, and Old Dust versus Miz, Bo Dallas, Stardust, and The Ascension. We're missing Darren because he's out on injury.
He's injured too?
He's injured.
God damn.
I know, right? Cesaro's out of this. He was going to be booked for this, but he's out on injury. So probably one of the other reasons why you see this match on the pre-show is also because so much of the card got guffed up in Seth being injured that you had to have the semifinals and the finals match take place on the regular card. So, like, if the card for Survivor Series is guffed up, they're doing the best they can with it.
The really funny thing about it, though, is that one of the semifinal matches would have happened anyway. Owens versus Dean Ambrose. That was going to be for the Intercontinental title.
Yep.
And now they're going to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, God, fuck.
I know. We'll get there. So this is pretty much a highlight reel of low-card talent that either don't deserve to be there, have been misbooked to be there, or are actually filled out by actual low-card talent. Yeah. So we have, like Neville, who really shouldn't be on the low-card anymore. Dudley Boyz, who have just been booked to shit. So
what the fuck?
Now they're low card.
What are they doing with the Dudley Boyz?
Now they're low card losers.
I mean, fair enough in that the tag division, there's only one main event for the tag division. Mm-hmm. So, they're not going to want to show fucking Dudley Boyz versus the New Day for 10 months.
No.
But, I mean, holy shit. You get the Dudley Boyz, real legends in the tag team division. And now they're on the pre-show.
Which is really why I want to move New Day out of the tag division and start giving them the other fucking belts. Just because they kind of need to free up the tag division a little bit. New Day is kind of running the show, which is great because they're amazingly entertaining.
You know what?
But you can also have them be amazingly entertaining, do the other things, and give me a reason to care about tag.
You know what's kind of sad about the New Day though?
What?
Now that they've gained so much traction, Vince has taken note.
Yep.
And now Vince is starting to have his input with the New Day.
Yeah, a little bit. But they're still crazy entertaining.
Oh, yeah. They're going to take whatever he gives them and actually make it tolerable.
Yeah. So anyways, on to the match. Both the Ascension get eliminated within the first 5 minutes. There's a really great spot in my book. I like this a lot. Stardust goes to do a top rope double axe handle / a top rope nothing. Yeah. And Bubba Ray hits him in the stomach, sideways with his own double axe handle. Cody sells this by landing on his feet and then front flipping onto his back.
Yeah.
It's great looking stuff. And also, I like the fact that if you're going to do a top rope nothing like that, at least put your hands up and pretend like you're going to do a double axe handle instead of literally just doing the top rope nothing.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Cody, you're better than the low card.
Yes, he is.
He
always has been.
He's been on the low card for these pre-show matches for like the past year.
Like he hasn't been a low card talent since he first joined WWE when he was still green as shit. Mm-hmm. But you knew with like fucking a bloodline like he had, he was going to end up being great. And that's the funny thing about Cody too. The Rhodes family, not exactly high flyers.
No,
you know what I mean. But he was born with just the right body type to be able to fucking do that shit. So, like, now he's technically a Generation 3 wrestler, even though Goldust is his brother instead of, like, his dad. But
yeah.
He's technically, like, a third fucking generation wrestler. And he moved out of what the fucking Rhodes are known for, which, I mean, I guess you could say over-the-top gimmicks, but he's in one of those now.
If you will.
Yeah. And now he's actually not just a really solid worker, but also does the high flying shit, so he's managed to invent his own Rhodes style of wrestling, and it's great. And they could easily fucking say shit like that, but they don't care because they're like, oh, he's a Rhodes, let's put him in fucking Goldust outfit, times 3, make him say some funny shit,
but he does all that so well
have him lose.
I actually really like the Stardust gimmick.
I don't mind Stardust, but considering now I think of Stardust, in the same vein as I think of Jobber.
Yeah.
I've got that thing in my head where it's like, get rid of Stardust and maybe he'll be fucking higher on the card.
Yeah.
But, realistically, it's not going to go like that.
There's another great Stardust spot where he's beating up Old Dust, and he's on the outside, and he yells, "Do you want tables?" And he goes to flip the apron on the side open, and everyone like, "Oh yeah." And then he waits a second, and then he flips the apron back down and just goes, "No." And I'm like, "That's great. It's awesome. I love that."
Yeah.
The only person that gets eliminated on Team Face is Neville. Fucking why?
Yeah.
And then Stardust is the last man out, and looked relatively good for the whole match. Honestly, a good match. And my end note is, please don't let it be match of the night. Because the last pay-per-view we did, the pre-show match was really good, and it ended up being match of the night. So, onwards to Survivor Series proper. Our first semifinal match for the World Heavyweight Championship is Roman Lettuce versus Latino No Hito.
Latino No Hito.
Yeah. Alberto Del Rio with the uncanny ability to be the heel on the roster with the least amount of heat possible.
Jeez. Roman
Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio in your semifinal action. Yep. Roman comes out first, and the boos are very apparent.
Yeah.
Very apparent. It is a fantastic Diet Owens Diet sign right behind commentary. Early on in the match, commentary tries to sell that ADR is going to re-injure Roman's shoulder, but the storyline really doesn't go anywhere because, like, 2 minutes after that, Roman does the high school bombing on ADR.
Yeah.
So, like, they almost maybe tried to go for it, and then someone just said, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, psychology in a Roman match.
Yeah, exactly.
Roman can have decent matches if he's in there with the right person.
Exactly.
And this match I don't think was bad.
It wasn't terrible. I just didn't have a whole lot to say about it.
I mean, yeah, like when you literally have two guys in there that I could give a fuck about, especially when you know the outcome of the match already, it makes it hard to get invested for the kind of, thing that makes it entertaining. The drama of like, oh, is there a possible way that fucking this person could win? And fucking Reigns is winning.
Yeah.
There's no chance that he's not.
Reigns comes out with the rocket very, very visibly strapped to his ass.
Yeah, that's why he wears the vest.
Exactly. Except that the vest doesn't sell anything, which is the one thing I hate about him most. The one thing I absolutely hate about him the most.
What, the vest?
Well, no, the fact that he has a vest and then he still sells, like, chest shots.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that. I hate that. He does another like halvesy high school bombing out of ADR's armbar finisher.
Yeah.
So those are like the cool, nice spots for the match.
That's a really good spot for him.
It was a really good spot for him. It was
like just in general, it's a really good spot for him. Like every time he does it, I mark out a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's by and far. Like the thing is, like I want to see him with more power moves because obviously he's a big dumb brawler type thing. The high school bombing, that's his best move by far.
I do like that they're giving him stuff that not everyone has.
Yeah, because like when he does like
the Samoan drop is required for every Samoan.
Yes, that's required,
so
but it's like
that's fine.
It's like everyone else has that and looks dumb.
Yeah, but like the high school bomb.
High school bomb is great, man.
That's great. But like Sin Cara did it for a while. I don't know if he does it anymore.
He doesn't.
Roman does it.
He doesn't. Like Vince is gonna let anyone else touch that, especially the curse of the mask Sin Cara.
That's not something that we're all that used to seeing. Mm-hmm. So it's great that it's one of his moves to do.
Yeah, it's great that it's one of his moves to do every so often.
The teardrop suplex is a really nice, suplex we haven't seen in a long time. So I'm glad someone has it in the main event, and him doing it is pretty good. Keeping his moveset focused is not a bad idea as long as he gets, those good high spot style moves and like can do them well. Unlike Cena, where it's like he stopped fucking giving a shit about his proto bomb a long time ago. Because the proto bomb, the thing he does before he does the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah.
That was his old finisher back when he was in OVW. And it was called the proto bomb because he was called the prototype back then. It used to be basically just a blue thunder bomb, except not as whiplashy or straightforward.
I miss him.
But now it's literally like a backdrop suplex without the suplex.
Yep.
He picks them up and then he sets them down, and it doesn't look good. Fucking Cena's STF is awful. The AA looks amazing. I know.
Anything with a fireman's carry.
Yeah, I always go on record on, but like even him,
the STF does always look lazy.
Yeah. But in general, like I remember when Cena first started using the FU, the AA before it was the AA, it looked awful, because he was still trying to find what he wanted to do with it. Like at first, he would put him up, he would stack him on his shoulder and then throw him off without doing anything extra, and it looked really low impact, really lazy. He did a Death Valley driver for a while, where he just like dropped him on the head, and that was cool for a minute. He used to do like a fireman's carry Falcon Arrow with it by sitting out when he did it, and that was cool. But then he eventually settled on doing a kneel out when he did it.
The kneel out's the best part of it.
Yeah,
that's what really sells it.
Like now when he does it, it's fucking, he throws the guy 9 feet in the air and kneels out, and it looks really fucking good. So, and I will always give credit to wrestlers who do really cool looking shit, even if it's simple. And when Roman does even simple shit like the Superman punch, it looks okay.
I don't like the Superman punch.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't, but, I'm still on the team of let that be his finisher. You know what I mean? There's way too many people using spears as not a finisher.
Exactly.
But yeah, Superman punch I think is fine. The spears, whatever. I'll always appreciate a good spear. I just hate the abundance of them. The fucking high school bomb is great. I don't know if people know what we're talking about when we say that.
We coined the term high school bombing a number of episodes ago. It's one of Roman's signature moves where he does a schoolboy.
He goes for a schoolboy
pin, and then at about the 2 count, he actually picks them up and does a power bomb.
Yeah.
So Luna coined the term high school bombing.
Yeah.
And A, it's a great name. B, it's a great move.
Yes.
And Roman looks really, really good when he does it.
Yeah.
It's when Roman's at his peak is when he does the high school bomb.
Yes, it is. And then, his other move, the teardrop suplex, looks really good. His Samoan drop still looks good. So as long as he keeps those moves looking good, he can do the main event style.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with him being in the main event or even having the title. Even if he was having the title right now. As a matter of fact, I would prefer that over who currently has the title.
I know.
But yeah, it's just a matter of me wanting other guys to have it instead of him,
It's the big thing is like, as a Cesaro mark, people are like, well, Cesaro's not main event quality. He doesn't have charisma. I'm like,
that's bullshit.
I'm like, okay.
And Roman does,
Sir, maybe I concede that Cesaro's outside of ring promo and charisma could be a little lacking, but that's to imply that Roman Reigns has better charisma or anything like that.
And see, here's how they shit the bed with Cesaro. Cesaro shouldn't have to talk.
No.
Cesaro should literally be the second coming of Brock Lesnar, because he can get in there, he can do ridiculous, retarded shit, except he's more leaner than fucking, he's like instead of the Incredible Hulk, he's fucking, like Captain America.
Instead of 100% beef, he's 80% beef, 20% lean.
He's got fucking the goods. He's got the shit. But the thing is,
he's one of the best fucking workers.
And like, here's the great thing about it, right? When he was with Paul Heyman, the reason why that didn't work is because A, they stopped doing anything with Cesaro that had any significance.
He was just second banana to
And two, whenever Paul Heyman said anything, it was always about Brock Lesnar.
He was completely playing second banana to Brock Lesnar in that.
But realistically, that fucking fusion would have been amazing for Cesaro if they would have did it any other way. When Cesaro first really started getting over was when he was with Zeb Coulter with the Real Americans. And that was an amazing thing. Like, I thought it would end up being nothing because there was two guys that they never did anything with, Swagger and Cesaro. And they put him with a manager, but it ended up being legitimately entertaining because Zeb Coulter was a fucking nut with how he said shit. Like, his racist stuff was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And, when they got in the ring, they put on great matches because you had fucking Cesaro in there. And that's all it has to be. Give him a good mouthpiece. Have him stand there, look like either a cocky asshole or just a fucking badass. And then when you get in the ring, have him do what he does. And then you have a main event fucking player.
I want strong and silent Cesaro, all James Bond swapped out, because the times that he's shown up in a suit, I'm like, dude, why are you not booking him like this?
He's a good looking guy.
He is an unbelievably good looking guy.
He's a great looking dude, man. Like, fucking, you put him in a suit, fucking amazing. He's got the build. Like, there's not a
He's got the build. He's got the looks.
There is nothing on that body that is fat. Like, it is just 100% muscle.
He is so lean.
And that it's crazy. Like, you put a manager with him or an advocate and actually do something with it, he could be fucking world champion tomorrow and everyone will believe it.
Oh, God, I know. It sucks. Anyways, that's the match. Alberto Del Rio loses and goes on to be into a feud with Jack Swagger, thus proving... thus taking the once established U.S. title and moving it all the way to the bottom of the
I know, right? Didn't I say this last month? I'm pretty sure I did.
You did.
Pretty sure
the writing was on the wall the second ADR came in and took that belt in the shittiest
it's so
match
disappointing.
Ever.
Like, they worked so hard. And I fucking knew it.
And now that belt is shit. Anyways, next semifinal match. It's Dino versus Owens.
Another good match.
I actually have a bit of an issue with this match.
You had an issue with the match?
A minor issue with the match. I'll get to it.
Right.
I liked it, but I had an issue with the match. So Owens goes for the cannonball spot, and JBL on commentary goes, "Here we go, Autobots."
Did he say that?
He said that.
I didn't catch that.
He said that.
Oh my God! Credit.
JBL's actually getting better. I like. Maybe it's just that JBL's risen above negative, whereas Cole is at annoyance and Byron is at they're not letting him do anything.
It's also possible that Vince spends more time being pissed at Byron, so JBL can get away with saying more stuff there.
Yeah, probably.
Either that, or Vince is a secret fucking Transformers fan, so he's like, he fucking appreciated that.
Go for it, JBL. We're gonna try and get the new Transformers trailer movie and some sort of tie-in.
Right.
Exactly right.
Right.
So that's that. Owens, this was it. This was what I really want to talk to you about. Owens does a move that starts with a fireman's carry, and then he kind of spins them and grabs them by the neck and ends in kind of like a suplex position. What is that move?
That is a TKO.
TKO. Okay. Yeah. It looked hot as fuck.
What he did, it ends in a cutter.
Yeah, it ends in a cutter. That's what I meant to say.
That's normally called a TKO. It really just depends on who's doing it and if they have a name for it. But most of the time, people call that a TKO.
I loved it. Owens puts Dino in a chin lock, and the ref, who's a little bit away from the mics, asks Dean, as compliment, as standard, do you submit? Do you want to tap out?
Right.
Anything like that, as refs normally do. And Owens looks at the ref and yells, "He said yes!"
he says yes.
It's just a great heel shit by Owens. He's unbelievably amazing. Owens goes to the top rope, and for a dude who is like really, really big, he's got a crisp moonsault.
Yeah.
He's got a beautiful looking moonsault, man.
Yes, he does.
Another great fisherman suplex from the second rope. I love that spot. I love that signature move. I think it looks great.
Yeah,
100% of the time.
It is great.
The way they drape as they fall is it's beautiful. It's so good looking. My kind of issue with this match is that Dean's move list and his involvement in this match looks super gimped. Like nothing.
They're trying to hold him back.
Yeah, well, that's my big issue is
like
I like a couple months ago I was really excited for Dean matches because Dean would work a match very well.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I actually don't care about Dean matches anymore because they've gimped him to the point where he does the rebound clothesline, which is great.
They try to make that the only thing he does.
The only other thing he does is the suicide dive through the ropes, and he's better than this. So I think they're telling him to do it. He does it lazy as shit looking.
Yeah.
Like my big thing with Dean right now is I think they're either telling him, hey, go out there and don't try, or he knows it's not worth trying for because a lot of his moves require like a certain amount of momentum to them to make them look good, and he's not putting that momentum in there. Like the past X million suicide dives he's done through the ropes, he looks like he's like jogging at it and then just kind of dives. Right. Like, oh man, that doesn't.
The thing is, right. and I heard somebody on YouTube say this that as far as the moves of doom goes,
mm-hmm.
like people always shit on guys like Cena and Roman for having 5.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, Dean only has 2 moves. He's got the dirty deeds and he's got the the rebound closer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Dean's got a lot of moves.
Dean's got great ability, but
like even if we're talking about his main event, quote unquote, 5 moves of doom shit, he does, dirty deeds, rebound clothesline, he does do the dive,
apron rebounds.
Well, I mean, if you can count that in the same category, really.
Yeah.
He's also got his fucking diving elbow.
Diving elbow looks good.
And that's great. But
and then you have the turnbuckle rebounds.
Oh, where he
he kicks the turnbuckle and run. But that's another one I have an issue with because it looks like he's never building any momentum, and the point of that move is to build momentum off that turnbuckle.
No, the point of that move is to look cool for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like he's got a lot of moves. And he could do a lot of moves. The problem is, it's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault.
It's in no way his fault. Roman,
you can
tell that fucking corporate or whoever it is
mm-hmm.
is like saying, Roman, try this. We're gonna have you do it. Meanwhile, like fucking Dean's got this arsenal, and they're like, we're gonna need you to stop doing this move.
For the past half year to maybe a little more. I've seen a steady decline in the quality of Dean matches, and I can tell it's not his fault.
Yeah. The thing is, like, he's even got, like, if I were to be a wrestler, right,
mm-hmm.
my finishing move, what I would want it to be, Dean actually uses that as a signature move. Except not anymore.
Which one is it?
God, did he used to have a name for it? I don't think he did. But basically, he picks him up like he's going to do a back suplex,
mm-hmm.
but then flings him forward and drops to his ass,
mm-hmm.
where his opponent lands on their face.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not like 100%.
That's a great signature move too. They stopped having him do it.
Stopped having him do that because I can't remember seeing that.
They could even bring back old dirty deeds as a signature move if they wanted, but I don't know why they got rid of it. I prefer that one anyway.
Yeah, so that's like the big issue with this match is that Dean does nothing. Owens works almost the entire thing. There was one spot where Dean does something awesome, and he reverses a pop-up powerbomb into a Frankensteiner and then gets dirty deeds after that, and the match is over. Yeah. And if I can be critical for a second, I think that actually hurt the match a lot. The fact that it was very much like remember the match that Charlotte won the belt off of, and it was just Nikki like working her over the entire match, and then all of a sudden oh my god, she gets a spear. Oh my god, she puts the finisher on there.
Yeah.
Woo! That was this match. Owens spends the entire match working over Dean.
Yeah.
Dean reverses one pop-up powerbomb in a very nice manner, and then gets dirty deeds, and it's over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, seeing Owens work, great, but as like a storyline match, especially in a story, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Buddy.
I mean, I feel like, it's basically just the position they're in to where they didn't really, they were probably focusing more on what was going to happen in the main event as opposed to trying to put on actual matches, even though they were still good. But the fact is, there wasn't as much back and forth.
Yeah, it was all Owens.
Yeah, and I honestly think that was pretty much the same in the Roman match too, really. And it's just a typical fucking old school John Cena victory, really. But normally it's more back and forth than that in general. But I think for those two matches in particular, it was just everyone knew the outcome. The fans knew the outcome a mile away.
Yeah.
They wanted to go out there, do something, decent enough, and then just fucking do it.
The good part about this is that in that match, it does make Kevin Owens look nice.
Yeah.
Because he worked the entire thing.
Now, I actually wanted to bring up something.
Yes, go ahead.
About those two matches.
Yes.
And why I thought it was structured really nice as to who placed where. The two mid-card champions got to the semifinals.
Yeah.
The only people they lost to were the two main event, quote unquote, main event talent. Which makes perfect sense because realistically, you're not, your champions aren't supposed to lose to anybody unless they are, better in a kayfabe sense. So it's like, regardless of how they're shitting the bed with Ambrose, we know he's fucking gonna be up there.
Yeah.
He's still main event, future main event talent. He's gonna get there eventually. They might just be waiting on fucking a heel run for him to have his belt because he's gonna be a ridiculous heel. I would rather that not be the case because fucking Dean makes a great face too if they let him do shit.
Yeah.
But
he makes a good anything if they let him do shit.
Yeah. But regardless of all that, Dean is a main event level talent. That's where he's going to go eventually. Same with Roman. Roman is fucking poised for the main event.
Yeah.
So the only people in the tournament that beat the mid-card champions were the main event. As opposed to like fucking as opposed to Alberto Del Rio getting eliminated by fucking Ziggler in the first round.
Yeah, he had to face Kalisto.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, if they are going to lose, I want them to set that up as a feud in which they lose in, because NXT did this a while back where they had the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Championship, and in those team rounds, they booked the Vaudevillains to lose against Dash and Wilder.
Yeah. And
it was kind of like a thing that would happen at a house show, but it was canon, and they brought it up and they showed some footage of it because they did that for all the matches.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, so the Vaudevillains lost to these guys. And then fast forward like a month and a half or so, and Dash and Wilder challenged the Vaudevillains, and they beat them for the titles. And that was booked well because you saw that they were able to beat them in a tournament where the titles weren't on the match. So you had your thoughts that, oh, hey, man, these guys could maybe beat the champions and get the titles. It was all, it's kayfabed out well.
Right. So, and here's my problem with that. Because that's perfect. That's great. But both the mid-card champions were beaten.
Yeah.
So Dean is going to be feuding with Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Kevin Owens.
Yep.
So, but Roman Reigns isn't feuding with Alberto Del Rio because of,
because he's too good for that.
He won. I mean, honestly, like, the way I really would have much rather seen this go down, like, the tournament was a good, it was fine. But what I would have much rather saw is that when the title was vacated, Sheamus comes out, says, I'm Money in the Bank, just give me the title. He's a heel.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Cash in against Vacant.
It's like fucking
Vacant's gonna lay down.
It's like Triple H. I got a free shot at the title. You could even bring up something like there's this fine print in the contract here that says, if there's no competition, it does say anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, like
so I want to challenge for it right now. Oh, there's no champion. Give me the title.
That's right. Technically speaking, with the rules, I think that would be good if he tried to cash in as if it's vacant.
But instead, because this is why they didn't do it, and I know this is like fucking jumping the gun, but I need to bring this up now.
Go ahead, because you're on a train.
The reason why they didn't do it is because, and I think you're going to get a kick out of this unless you know already,
mm-hmm.
They wanted to get fans on Roman's side by pulling the same shit on him that happened with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. No.
So they're trying...
It backfired completely.
Yeah. Because it's not the fucking same thing. Because we know that Roman Reigns will be a fucking champion.
Because source-cited, duh.
Yeah. Like, there's no fucking... Like, this is one of those things where, like, no.
They try to get sympathetic with Roman, and it horrendously backfired. And we'll go into greater detail with it.
We saw 9 years ago that he was going to be the fucking champion. Like, Daniel Bryan, no one ever thought it would happen. And then when it did happen, they're like, oh shit, it happened. And then Orton comes out, and they're like, oh fuck, why?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, that happened that way. It's not fucking happening this time. We know that fucking he's going to have 10 titles stapled to his dick. So it's not going to get the same sympathetic babyface reactions.
Yeah. We're just going through the motions until he gets there.
Yeah. It would have worked with Dean.
Oh, it worked with Dean.
It would have worked like fuck with Dean. If Dean would have won somehow, and then Sheamus came out.
God, we would be having a completely different episode. Dean won it, and then Sheamus cashed in.
A completely different episode.
God, man, what an episode we'd be having right now if Dean won it, and then Sheamus cashed in.
Spoilers: Dean didn't win.
Spoiler alert: Dean did not win. Spoiler alert: I shouldn't have had to fucking tell you that. All right, next up on the card is your main card traditional tag team Survivor Series match.
Yep, and it meant just as much as the last.
It meant dick. On Team Face, we have Ryback, the Lucha Booties, and the Usos versus the best thing in the product, New Day, King Barrett, and Shamo.
Yeah.
So outside of New Day, I already don't care about this match. Xavier's hair is all teased and like ponytailed and like wavy, and it's really beautiful looking.
Yeah.
So that's like the.
He's got like a pompadour going on.
Yeah,
too.
He's got this like ponytail, like pompadour, like very kind of Prince-esque hairstyle going on. Really, really beautiful because you know that this is going to be the focus of the day.
Yeah.
They always bring out something. So.
He's got pay-per-view hairstyles.
He's got pay-per-view hairstyles. So he's got this. They show up and they go down. They walk down, the runway, doing their promo. That's the price of admission right there. That pays for the match. That pays for the match. And recently,
that's the $9.99 for the network.
Exactly. Right. And one of the great things that they've been doing recently is as they're walking down the ramp and getting to the ring, they'll be doing the promo, and Xavier goes, "Hold on, getting in," and then they'll get in, and then they'll resume. I'm like, that's brilliant. That's the shit right there, man. Put that in a fucking bottle and sell it. So Xavier starts off the match, and he's up against someone, I don't even remember who.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, because he's like, all right, here we go. Whoa, don't touch your hair. Don't touch my hair, man. So he's like all about that. It's so entertaining. It's so completely entertaining. There's one of those 4-man leap to the outside ropes where it was like the Usos and Lucha Dragons, and everyone's like, oh, spill on the outside, and then Royd Botch climbs to the turnbuckle and does the 9-person bowling pin spot, and that was your spot. There's your spots. It's about halfway through the match, after some roughing up, Xavier's hair looks completely jacked. And he's so pissed. And it's just so fucking entertaining because he's great. There's actually, the match goes for a good long while before your first elimination, and that's King Barrett. Sin Cara botches a springboard spot. Obviously.
Which is hilarious. That mask is cursed.
It's the curse of the mask.
Because fucking Hunico, the guy behind the mask now, he did not botch that much.
No.
Fucking Sin Cara cursed that mask.
That mask is cursed, man. So he botches his first springboard spot, and they do it immediately again, just because, well, they have to. I guess.
It's like, fuck it, it's a mid-card, who cares?
Yeah. We're all playing Second Banana to New Day.
Right.
Let me read directly from this quote. I will wait until you are finished drinking your liquid, sir. Sin Cara eats a spear through the ropes from Big E, and I'm sure that made Sin Cara wish for a comfy office job. It was like, this is the suicide dive I want Dean to have.
Well, it's pretty impossible for Dean to have.
Dean doesn't have 300 pounds of absolute mass on him.
Yeah.
But Big E comes trucking down the ring, and he spears Sin Cara, who's on the other side of the ring on the apron, through the second rope onto the outside, and the impact looks like absolute death happened on Sin Cara. Whereas when Dean does his suicide dive, it looks like he gingerly taps someone on the head, and then they kind of fall safely down. I'm like, oh man. Whereas Big E looks like he actually just killed somebody.
Yeah. But, and you know what's funny?
What?
With the way how injuries happen, I'm willing to bet that fucking Dean will get injured doing his before Big E gets injured doing it.
You know it. You absolutely know it.
Because, like, it always looks like nothing, and they end up fucking destroing
well, that's what we thought Charlotte was selling her leg in that
yeah.
And I think that was a shoot instead of a work.
Yeah.
But we couldn't tell.
Yeah.
So Big E gets eliminated, and Xavier and Kofi throw a huge fit about the thing, and then they carry Big E off to the back under the guise that he's hurt.
Yeah.
Great heel shit. Great heel shit.
So that, of course, leaves Sheamus by himself.
Sheamus kind of wakes up from the sidelines. He was knocked out or something like that, and he realizes that he's completely by himself, and then he has to defend himself for much longer than he should have.
Yeah.
He should have just been, like, killed immediately, and then the match should have ended. But he had, like, another good 5 minutes or so of, like, him hustling and trying to fight back.
He took a fucking Marvel 3 hyper combo by, like, all 3 guys in the match doing their fucking finisher on him.
Yeah, he definitely did. It was a better traditional Survivor Series match than the pre-show, only because the New Day were involved.
Now, who was the one that got the pin on Sheamus? I want to say it was Ryback.
I don't remember, and I don't care.
So wouldn't that technically mean Ryback should be in the main event?
No, it doesn't.
He beat the current champion.
It doesn't matter. You know it doesn't matter. Look deep within your heart. You know it doesn't matter.
Continuity.
Speaking of things that don't matter, next up is Charlotte versus Paige for the Divas belt. Allow me to read aloud from my notes directly. Sup, I don't care. They booked this like absolute shit, and I can't even begin to force myself to watch. Yeah. I didn't watch the match. I straight up didn't watch the match. They've been booking this feud like the worst possible way. Yeah. It's been abysmal.
They're trying to do something now on Raw with them, I guess, like with Charlotte kind of starting to act a little bit like her old man, and Becky doesn't like that too much.
Kind of, but not really.
But for some reason, Paige is still fucking in it. Like, she shouldn't be involved anymore in this feud.
No, the thing is, they need to focus on Charlotte being a Flair instead of Paige being this like backstabbing, unlikable bitch, but not in like a good heel way, just like a get the fuck off my television screen way.
And the thing that's sad is that, like, you know, I mean, I don't think they should be rushing Sasha into this angle because you can tell they're kind of saving her for WrestleMania. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like we know that now it's Becky's turn to get fucking, you know, steamrolled over. But I think that it's cool because they're kind of teasing at her still at least being the babyface of the thing.
Yeah, no, she's looking like the babyface, which is good because I think babyface Becky's amazing. Yeah. I think Becky's amazing. Becky, marry me.
Need that Becky.
I love that Becky. Next up on the card, Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler. Allow me to read it directly from my notes. Tyler deserves better than to be associated with Summer and stuck in this god-awful angle. A nothing match with Breeze winning with the unprettier. No one in the crowd even noticed.
Okay, you know what I'm really pissed off? Is that they gave Tyler Breeze the unprettier based entirely on its name. And it's still... Wait, I don't know if I exactly caught it. Is it still fucking Christian's Unprettier? Is that still what that move is? Yeah.
That's it? Yeah.
That's even funnier now that I think about it, because the Unprettier was the second name for that move when Christian uses.
Mm-hmm.
The latest name before he got forcefully retired was the Kill Switch. So they literally brought back the Unprettier name just because, and I'm sure it was Vince. He was like, we used to, that rat face used to use that move, and he called it this.
Vince can remember that far back?
Probably. When it comes to shit like that, probably.
Probably.
So,
because he used it on Tommaso Ciampa in NXT, and I was like, oh, that's going to be your new finisher. Okay, and that was like a month before it got called up.
See, the thing about the Unprettier is I hate that move.
It sucks.
Awful.
It's
an awful move. And the beauty shot, not only is its name better, but it looks better.
Yeah.
You can say like, oh, but it's just a normal move. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's a move that's not normally a fucking finisher, and not too many people use that particular move anyway.
You can make the argument that they took away the beauty shot because that's one of Rusev's signature moves. But
yeah, that's right. He is using that.
But who cares about Rusev right now in terms of booking?
Yeah.
He's at the low end of the card, so why not?
Technically not anymore. I don't know if you watched Last Raw.
I didn't. I actually purposely was told not to watch Last Raw and just watch the chain, like the review.
Well, let me.
I know he had a Miz TV segment.
Well, no, let me. There's a new stable in town.
Yeah, the Nation of the League of Nations.
The League of Nations.
Yeah, he's on that. He's actually doing better than I thought he would be, considering how much I thought he was going to be sent to Superstars.
Yeah.
So, but still, just let the man have the beauty shot. The Unprettier.
I mean, you can use both as finishers, and you know what makes that even funnier? Fucking Christian used the Unprettier, and Edge used to do that move. Obviously, it wasn't called the beauty shot, and it wasn't a finisher, but he's been known to do his fucking wheel kick back in the day. So I think that's kind of funny. But no, give him back the beauty shot. Fucking Unprettier, really?
Really, it really sucked, and this is partially because the crowd is not used to Tyler Breeze, and partially because I think the Unprettier is just the most lackluster shit. Like, when he hit the finisher on Dolph Ziggler, crickets. Crickets, dude. Yeah. There was nothing.
Fucking just dead on arrival.
Yep.
Dude.
And we'll fast forward to last night's Raw, or not last night.
Last night.
The two nights ago. Screw
by the time people see this.
This week's the Raw 2 weeks after the pay-per-view.
There you go.
This episode's coming out late because Thanksgiving week.
Yeah. That's our story. We're sticking to it.
I was gone. I was
he was gone.
I was gone for a good while. So
I was here. I would have been able to fucking meet up on Thanksgiving. It wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah, I sadly could not. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have done it. So 2 weeks after Survivor Series, Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze have a match, and Dolph Ziggler wins because 50-50 booking, because no one's allowed to get over, because fuck. Next match, Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Taker, versus the Wyatt family. It is the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. He's been in this business for 25 fucking years.
And their celebration for it was this extremely lackluster match.
Yep. We're in it for the entrances. We get the entrances. Entrances are great. Yeah. That's the best part. Kane and Taker look strong for their fan service fest. There's really not much to be said. Eric Rowan runs in and gets immediately chokeslammed. Who cares? Direct quote from my notes. I'm sure Luna feels some type of way about the Wyatts being the feed of this match. The only noteworthy spot was that Strowman gets double chokeslammed through the Spanish announce table. And I think the only other noteworthy thing...
Was that really noteworthy, though?
No. But it's noteworthy because Strowman took a spot. And they were, at some point, booking him to be absolutely unkillable, bulletproof.
I mean, I guess if we're talking, kayfabe, fucking, trying to make the best out of things.
Yeah.
At least, so far, the only ones who have been able to so handily demolish him are the tag team of The Undertaker and Kane.
Exactly. I'm fine with that.
Because even when fucking Roman Reigns managed to knock him down, he still had to hit him 35 times and then, like, have him trip over.
Yeah, it was more like he stumbled over something. You can't take too much credit there, Roman, which is good. They've been booking him fine. So that's really about it.
And that's probably why they didn't put him in the match, is because they don't want him to lose.
Exactly. No, that's exactly why they didn't put him in the match. Taker looks healthy.
Yeah, he looks fine.
He looks really healthy, which is probably the best part of this match for me. I'm like, oh, look, he's doing things and he looks fine. I'm happy with this. My only other question was this their retirement match?
No. And that's the thing that kind of sucked, because I realized that going into it, that it wasn't their retirement match, because it did not have that feel to it.
No.
If this was their retirement match, then they got gypped.
They really did.
Like, as much as I don't want to see either of them wrestle anymore, I don't want that to be their last match either.
You know what I wanted to be their last match? My booking from about like a couple months ago, where we had Sting and Taker for WrestleMania, and he beat Sting, and he retires. Mm-hmm. You know how much better that would have been than anything that's happening right now?
You know what I think should be their last match?
What?
If we're going to go all out with this shit, all out with the fucking kayfabe of The Undertaker, fucking this WrestleMania, I know there was rumors of like John Cena versus The Undertaker. No, fuck that.
Fuck that.
There should be a match we've seen 30 million times, but as long as they both retire after this match, fucking just give us The Undertaker versus Kane one more time for the very last time, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Because both of those guys, it's hard to care about them, but like, if
you love them and you love them, that's why you have to let them go.
The only way that you can have The Undertaker retire at WrestleMania and not go over a new star or John Cena, is to have him in there with Kane. You'll know it'd be special because they like market it as like their last fucking match, and you could even have it be like a non-finish where fucking neither of them actually win.
I'm talking the ring breaks away and they're both dragged to hell.
Yeah, like
something like that.
Like,
you know,
kayfabe the shit out of this match, because it's got to be a spectacle.
It's got to be a storytelling match.
Like, fucking take them out the way they were brought in. You know, you're not gonna watch that match to see a fucking 5-star classic. You don't want to see any moonsaults. You know, you're gonna watch this match, and like, it doesn't have to be heel babyface thing. Like, it doesn't have to be, oh, Kane turned on his brother again. No. It could be like, you know, fucking the two supernatural powers of the WWE are going at it for one last time, and they announce it like it's going to be an event instead of a fucking feud. And the entire lead up to the feud, to the match, could just be them talking about their history with each other, against each other, their history in general. And, like, you could even have it be, like, a fucking Buried Alive match, because that's, like, their signature match against each other. Which, by the way, fucking The Undertaker's never won. Because, like, that's how he always reset his gimmick. Because, like, he'd have a Buried Alive match, get buried alive, people would be like, yeah, I finally killed The Undertaker. Then he'd be back, because you can't kill the dead man. Except sometimes you come back on a motorcycle.
Yeah. Rolling.
But instead of having a clear winner, have them both fall into the fucking pit. Have them both get buried alive. Yeah. Like, just kayfabe the shit out of it.
I would love that.
Have it be a spectacle.
Have it be a story.
Where these two guys can go out with a bang and have it be that they're similar power levels, because they're supposed to be. Like, they're not, but they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be feared monsters, feared supernatural creatures, and each of them had their spots where they weren't, like Corporate Kane and fucking Biker Taker. You know?
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I'd like to see, and then have them come back for their Hall of Fame induction. Yeah. Have them both go in at the same time.
Yep.
Why not?
I feel like I feel like anything you say would be too cool for it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say Kane shouldn't go in with The Undertaker because, like, you know, The Undertaker doesn't depend on... And that's kind of true, because the only reason Kane exists is because of The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, Undertaker doesn't need Kane to be relevant, which is totally true. But these are two guys that have been with the business for so long, and they're both respected, especially in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They both deserve it. And, you know, like, even if you're not going to have fucking Kane main event with Taker at the Hall of Fame, at least, like, have them both go in the same class.
Exactly. Time for the last match of the night, buddy.
Are we really at the last match?
Yeah, because this fucking pay-per-view sucked. Because I skipped, you had the semifinals matches, you had the Divas match you didn't care about, you had the Survivor Series match you didn't care about, you had Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler, which you didn't care about, you had the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family, which you didn't care about. Guess what? That's the whole fucking card.
God damn.
So now we're at Roman and Dean for the belt. Pop quiz, Luna, do we care?
I did for a minute.
Mm-hmm. I'm so
like,
sorry.
literally, because, like, this match I was looking forward to for very specific reasons. One, because I knew it was Roman and Dean, and I always loved those two together. Always, always. The little promo snippets we saw of those guys backstage.
Yep.
That was great. That was super great. Super great.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this match is going to be something. You know what I mean? I was like, we're going to get a heel turn tonight from somebody.
No.
You know what I mean? That's what I said. I was like, it's going to happen. And, like, looking at these two fucking promos make that shit super good. It needs to happen. You know? So I'm like watching intently the whole time. And I'm like, I need, you know, and it started off great. You know, like, fucking, they're not a blood feud, but they know what they got to do.
Yeah.
So, second the bell rings, they rush each other, start beating the fuck out of each other.
Second they ring. Let me back up for a second. Time to read aloud for my direct quotes.
Okay.
The smell of Roman booze. It's hot and heavy in the theater tonight as Roman comes out to a hearty chorus of booing.
Yeah.
Dean comes out. I loved it. This is the best part of the pay-per-view by far. During Dean's match with Kevin Owens, he tears his shirt, and it's kind of just sitting around his waist.
Yeah.
For the match for Roman and Dean, he comes out in his leather jacket. Still, I don't even know if he came out in his leather jacket. He came out still wearing the torn shirt around his waist.
He had a whole, 2 some odd hours.
He had 2 hours to put a different shirt on, and he didn't. Beautiful. Beautiful shit, Dean.
Yeah.
That's the shit we watch you for, man.
Yeah.
Roman's getting a ton of boos, probably because Dean's a fan favorite.
Yep.
We get a classic New Day. Bro, men sucks. Bro, men sucks. Dean does a top rope nothing, and Roman Superman punches him out of the air. And it looks like he actually clocked the living daylights out.
Might have.
I legitimately think he made some heavy contact off that one, because it looks like he just cleaned his clock with that one. Roman hits... They both kind of fall down. I'm trying to remember how this is set up correctly. They both kind of fall down, and Roman rolls away, and then normally when Roman does his spear as a finisher, he will rebound off the ropes for momentum.
Yeah.
And then they'll meet somewhere in the middle of the ring, and it'll look pretty good.
Yeah.
Roman, tech rolls off the ground, stands up, and does the spear on Dean. Yeah. And it was the world's shittiest looking spear.
Yeah.
Absolute shit. There was no momentum, no nothing. It looks like he was giving him a hug after seeing him. It was like Thanksgiving dinner, and you haven't seen Cousin Dean for at least 8 months. And you're like, brother! Hey, Dean!
Was that the spear that finished the match?
No, this is not the spear that finished the match. This is like a shitty spear with no impact. Dean kicks out because, in kayfabe, you could have Dean kick out because that spear was obviously not a regular spear.
Yeah.
This was just the world's shittiest spear. Had no setup, no choreography, no momentum. It was a bear hug at jogging speed.
Right.
So after that, Dean hits Dirty Deeds, and Roman's got to kick out of the finisher.
Yeah, except with the difference here
is that Dirty Deeds was actually hit as if it was a finisher.
Yeah.
So, which makes me think that they booked it for maybe Roman just to hit this super shitty spear.
I mean, maybe
possible.
It's possible that they wanted it to look cool because it was a spear that wasn't super fucking telegraphed,
Mhm.
you know. So like they didn't intentionally say, oh, and I can't remember if the commentary team remarked about that,
Mhm.
but if they didn't, then you know that wasn't the point. You know, if they said, oh, I don't think you got all that
They
speed.
didn't. I don't think they said anything like that.
If they didn't say it, then that wasn't the intention.
Yeah.
And that's something that you could at least give them credit for. You know, fucking, if they're trying to put somebody over like Roman,
Yep.
then, you know, they would protect the spear any way they can anytime it was kicked out of.
Yeah.
Especially when it was super obvious like that. So if they didn't, then the intention wasn't to, like, legitimately make it look bad.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it looked bad. It looked garbage. It looks like some hot trash.
Yeah.
Dean goes for his turnbuckle rebounds, and Roman spears the living daylights out of him.
You didn't mention my favorite spot.
Oh, the spot where they do the set of punches?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
that was great.
So I didn't even mention it because I was getting kind of bummed out with this match, to be honest. Because once again, it was just like, okay, you know what's going to happen. Dean's been like gimped to hell.
I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to happen until that second spear was hit.
I'm trying to see the world out of your eyes, and I'm imagining Cesaro in this match, and that would be me. If Cesaro was in this match, it'd be like, maybe there's a chance.
But the thing is, there would be a chance if Cesaro was the one.
Maybe if I'm extra good this year, Santa could give me Cesaro as a world heavyweight champion.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go cry tonight.
Why don't people watch this show?
Oh my god,
man! Listen to this show. We are two great guys.
We've got a whole 6 viewers. Let's go.
Hey, that's 6 viewers we gotta fucking entertain.
I am more than happy spending as much time as possible entertaining those 6 viewers, dude. I hope they're enjoying this as much as I am.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, they do a spot very much like Brock and Taker, where they both do the sit up and laugh at each other. Except this time they sit up and they trade punches at each other.
Yeah, the thing that was great was that when they both sat up, they were really close to each other.
Yeah.
So like fucking one of them gets nudged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can only assume by accident. So like I'm pretty sure it was Dean.
Yeah.
He, like fucking pushes him away.
Yeah, Dean like nudges him back.
What the fuck? And then they start fucking punching each other, just sitting next to each other. Like, and it was fucking great. Like it was the only thing. It was the only way you could have pulled this off is if it were 2 friends doing this.
Yeah, it was very like aggressive, but also had this like air of like childhood playiness with it.
Yeah,
and that was the only really good spot in the match that wasn't like directly tied to the like we're finishing this match storyline.
Yeah.
So that's that.
It was amazing.
It was good. Roman spears and gets the win. He's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Now, the second I heard the 3 count, right?
Mm-hmm.
My first reaction was, holy shit, that was quick.
Yes.
Because it was. I think the match only went 9 minutes.
This was not a long match.
And, like, it was fucking awful, as far as, like, length goes. And the match itself wasn't super good.
Nope.
I still think their chemistry together is awesome, but you didn't give them
You didn't get anything out of this. There was much like a problem we've been having with a lot of the matches out of the previous number of pay-per-views. These were all Raw matches.
Yeah. Now, the thing about this one is that kayfabe, there's a reason. You know, they both had matches. And like the thing is, they didn't say it, and they should have, if they wanted to keep Dean any bit strong.
Oh, if they even cared about Dean.
They should have mentioned that Roman's match earlier was first, so technically Roman had more time to recover. You know, so you could say that he got that little bit of fucking
if we're living
advantage.
If we were living in this la la land where anyone within the WWE cared about Dean right now.
I know, but they don't. Fucking pop quiz. Fucking 2 low card tag team wrestlers. Fucking and 2 future main eventers are on the same team. The team has to lose. 3 of the members are Samoan, and one of them is Dean Ambrose. Who's the one that eats the pin?
Dean Ambrose.
Of course.
Quick fast forward. That happened 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks after Survivor Series.
Jesus.
As Dean is going into a feud with Kevin Owens for that IC belt. So Dean immediately doesn't look strong because he got pinned. Like a bitch. Thanks, booking.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having him lose to a guy that's literally done nothing but lose for the last several months since the Money in the Bank.
It sucked, man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So as soon as Roman won the match, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, what's gonna happen, right?
well, 82 confetti cannons happened.
Well, like the confetti was happening.
A
So
lot of confetti.
at this point, I'm waiting for Dean to turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, he's still in the ring. What, is he going to turn? Is this what's going to happen? Then I saw Dean like grab Roman, give him a kiss on the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
They're still bros. I'm like, is he going to turn around and fuck him up? Like, is something going to happen?
Fuck him up, Socrates.
But then Dean fucks off. And I'm like, oh shit. So Dean's not turning. Then Triple H comes out.
Then you hear, the King of Games.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh shit, is Roman turning? Would this be the best timeline that I had hoped for?
I'm so envious of your misplaced optimism.
But that's what I wanted.
So envious.
I wanted Roman to leave with the title as a heel.
Yeah.
And this would have been perfect for it. Triple H comes out, Roman shakes his hand, because maybe, like, even though he won it all fair and square, fucking of course, he was still like, I want that insurance. I finally got it now.
Mm-hmm.
He could have explained that on the next Raw.
Yeah.
But no.
No.
He fucks off. He's like, no, spear you.
Yeah.
And then he spears Triple H.
Triple H goes in for the handshake.
Which is stupid because he already used the spear twice. He was out of meter.
I was exactly thinking the same thing.
Maybe the first spear was just an EX move, and he fucking got enough meter during the rest of the match with Dean to have a little left over.
Thinking about it as in RPG terms, he was out of MP, but the fact that he got the World Heavyweight Championship made him go up a level, and he regained all of his health and MP, so he had enough magic for another spear.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, Triple H comes out, and he extends the handshake to Roman, and Roman, like, looks at it, and kind of maybe might go for it, and then kind of turns away. And he turns away, and he kind of sits there for a second. And then he runs gung-ho at Triple H and spears him, and I thought, this is fucking retarded.
Yep.
And so there's that, and he's like, yeah, I speared Triple H. Hunter Hearns Helsley. Suddenly, Sheamus comes in and bro kicks Roman.
Yep.
And the first bro kick wasn't enough, because Roman's got a kick out of that bro kick.
Yep.
And then, like...
And I thought for sure, like, at this point, he, fucking Sheamus picks him up, throws him into the ropes, ducks the clothesline. I thought for sure that he was going to spear Sheamus.
I know, right?
And fucking win. I was, on one hand, yeah, it would have been dumb. But on the other hand, at least we wouldn't have Sheamus as champion.
Yeah.
So I'm a little conflicted with that not happening.
So after the bro kick, Sheamus cashes in, and he puts him he throws him against the rope and goes for a clothesline. Roman ducks. They rebound again. Sheamus hits another bro kick. This one gets the 1, 2, 3, and Sheamus becomes WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
Sheamus and Triple H walk out, and we get extended shots of Roman crying on the mats.
This is the worst timeline. Literally,
the worst.
They had two really good options for establishing right away a dominant main event level heel out of one of the two Shield guys. But instead of doing that, because either one would have been a good idea,
we get the babiest of baby faces.
We get Sheamus as the champion. Like, that's not even 99% of people were hoping and praying that his Money in the Bank cash-in was going to be a failure.
Remember
ever since he won it, everyone who was anyone was crossing their fingers that his was going to be the failure.
Remember our misplaced optimism when Money in the Bank happened, and we're like, wow, look at all these people on Money in the Bank. Literally everyone except Sheamus should win, and this would be great. And then Sheamus wins, and you're like, okay, Sheamus wins, but at least he's not going to cash in and get the title. And then Sheamus cashes in and get the title, and you're like, okay, never mind. I'm done watching this fucking show.
Literally, I wanted Roman to win Money in the Bank because I think he would have at least had fucking something to do with it.
Anyone could have won Money in the Bank and done something with it.
But then Sheamus.
Go watch our episode on Money in the Bank. We explained all this.
Yeah. Fucking Sheamus.
So this is, I need to set the scene for a while. Sheamus wins.
Yes.
Walks out with Triple H. Confetti's still falling.
Right.
Or maybe it's done falling now. And we have extended close-up shots of Roman lying on his back crying that he lost the title because we're supposed to feel sympathetic for him. And then you get the little trademark in the corner, which means, hey, we're done here. And then the screen fades to black, and you get the short credits for like the technology companies that helped put this together, Georgia Peach or whatever it is. And then it fades back in. You probably turned it off at this point.
I think I might have.
You turned it off at this point because you thought like any other product that they put out that by the time you saw the trademark in the corner and it faded out and the credits were done, that the show was done. But Luna, you are incorrect because they fade it back in.
Oh, jeez.
And Roman's still on the mat crying, and then Roman gets up and like kind of somberly puts his arms on the ropes, looking away from the hard camera. And, they've got the ground camera, so he's looking at the fans,
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be this big, like, Roman get your sympathy thing. Because we already had the Roman get your sympathy thing.
Yeah.
We already had Roman crying on the mat. But you know what? Maybe the people in the crowd didn't see that. Maybe they couldn't see that Roman was on his back crying. Let's have Roman get up and then move towards the ropes to the fans so they can see that Roman's really bummed out by this. And you know what happens, Luna?
I can only imagine.
He gets fucking booed.
Yeah.
So here's your big moment where you're supposed to be getting Roman all the sympathy, and he gets booed. And I hope to God, Luna, I hope that whoever did this in the back office gets a pay raise. Not because of this, but because of what happens next.
Oh, shit.
Because as the boos start, the world's smartest production man hits Roman's music to drown it out.
Oh, shit.
The world's smartest production man hits the music. You can tell that the boos are happening and they're getting louder, and someone in the back room goes, hit the music. And so you hear Roman's theme, and then he starts walking out, and that's the end.
If they would fucking put anywhere near as much effort into actually giving a fuck about what the fans think that they do with trying to get the fans to not think that way, then they would have a successful product.
Yeah.
Because, it's no, it needs to be Roman. Boo!
But it still needs to be...
It needs to be... Look at that fucking brick there.
Yeah, I'll need to make sure to edit that one since it's blowing speakers.
It's the only time I ever managed to be heard on this podcast.
Jeez, buddy.
But yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. They need to fucking do something with somebody and make it not be... Because, right now, Roman and Sheamus, it makes me feel like it's fucking 2010 WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is way worse than all the other bullshit that WWE has done the last couple of years. I would still rather have it be this bad than 2010 WWE. And as long as Sheamus is in the main event, it's going to be that bad. Now, what I've come up with a few fantasy booking scenarios.
Can I mention one thing before we go to fantasy booking, before we wrap up to fantasy booking?
Yeah.
I've got one more thing that I've been waiting to talk about for what happens in the Raws that happen afterwards.
Okay.
Because we've covered everything else. But 2 weeks after, the opening segment to Raw, 2 weeks after this pay-per-view, is... Oh, don't you dare be sad. I'm like, oh yeah, man, we got New Day opening up the show. This is gonna be great. Ooh, yeah, we got New Day, baby. Yeah. And so New Day come out and they're like, boom, 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 we're New Day, we're the fucking best. Jokes. Say this is great. Right. DBZ reference, fighting game reference. Aren't we the greatest? We're the greatest. Are we the greatest? Oh man, we're the greatest. Right. We're so over. It's crazy. You know what? There's got to be a reason why we're out here. We're so over, aren't we? I mean, we're the mid-card heroes. We're killing it in the mid-card. We're the most over thing ever. That's why we, as the heroes of the mid-card, are here to put the heavyweight champion over. Because the heavyweight champion can't get over on his own. So we have the New Day out here as the opening segment to lay out the red carpet for Sheamus. Because Sheamus...
Really?
Yeah, so that's the opening segment. New Day comes out, and they start getting the crowd all hyped up, and then they bring out Sheamus. And Sheamus is in a suit, and he doesn't have his mohawk up, he has it, slicked back. And, so... You have the New Day use their power of being over to try and help get Sheamus over, and I'm like, why would you not just give the New Day the belts?
Yeah.
Every belt. I mean, all the belts.
Fuck.
You need to use the New Day to get Sheamus over. And I'm like,
instead of just using New Day to be over.
And then, literally at that point, I'm like, I was on Twitter, I'm like, is this really happening? And my friend's like, don't watch this Raw. Do not watch this, Ross. Quit right now.
Jesus.
And I closed out, and he sent me like a caged side seats review of that Raw, and I was like, wow, I'm fucking glad I missed this.
Oh, was that like a London Raw or something? Or
No, it was.
did you just watch it later?
Watch it later.
Oh, okay.
I watched it later.
All right.
I watched it last night. So anyway, so that's that. The state of Raw looks like shit. The state of this product looks like shit. The state of all of your belts, except maybe the IC belt, looks like shit.
Now,
Fancy book and go.
I've got two proposed routes.
Okay.
And they all involve Sheamus. As much as I hate the idea of them having more than one pay-per-view match, they all involve 3 pay-per-view matches. Now, this is the 2 proposed routes. It depends on what they do at the Rumble, right? But here's what I think should happen. TLC, Roman loses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have a rematch because, why not, at the Royal Rumble. So it's Sheamus, so he's not going to win the Rumble, versus Roman, so he's not going to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
Roman wins, okay? Mm-hmm. So it's all big. He wins at a Big 4 pay-per-view.
Yes.
Okay,
which
great.
is which I think is the only way he's going to win.
Yeah. So he wins at a Big 4 pay-per-view, and then
Quick sidebar.
Okay.
Survivor Series this year was not a Big 4 pay-per-view. This pay-per-view sucked.
I mean, it's really like a big 3.5 at this point.
It's in the A- B+ category, and this was not good. This was neither A+.
It is just TLC Royal Rumble, right? That is the next 2 pay-per-views, isn't it?
I believe so.
I'm going to check real quick because that would throw a very small wrench into my fantasy booking thing here. 13th is TLC. Okay. 24th Royal Rumble. All right, yeah. Okay, so Roman wins at the Rumble, and then they have a rematch at Fastlane where Roman wins also.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the Rumble, there's only 2 winners that I think should even ever possibly fucking shake a dick at the winning of the Rumble this year. Best timeline, Dean Ambrose. Worst timeline, John Cena. Okay?
I don't think he's coming back at the Rumble, is he?
I don't think so, but he's going to come back. And the Rumble is a long time away. Like, TLC's the 13th of this month. The Royal Rumble is the 24th of next month. So you've got, like, another 2 weeks or something after the month. So if Cena wins, come WrestleMania time, it's going to be Roman versus Cena in a passing of the torch match where Roman's going to win and be triumphant. And then maybe Cena will give him the shirt, and then he'll start wearing the tie-dye and shit. That'd be awful. Worst timeline. But that I'd still prefer that happening over, say, like Del Rio winning the Rumble or something. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that's plausible. That's still a main event level match. Like, okay, you got John Cena, the fucking star of the company, versus Roman Reigns, the current champion, fucking, future star of the company. It would still be a WrestleMania match. I would still hate it because motherfuck, how many Rumbles is Cena gonna win? And fucking, goddamn Roman Reigns trying to cram him down our throat more. Although, I think that would be completely fine if Roman were to win that match as a heel. Like, maybe that could be his heel turn. I don't know. That'd be okay. I'm already thinking of ways to soften the blow when this bullshit inevitably happens.
Yeah.
Okay, best timeline, in my opinion. And honestly, like, who else could win the Rumble to feud with Roman other than Dean Ambrose, Because then, you could get an actual storyline out of that. Dean is, like, the fucking crowd favorite trying to win at WrestleMania to finally get that title. He's the only member of the Shield that hasn't been a WWE champion. Mm-hmm. At this point, Roman's a 2-time WWE champion, So it's like, you could play to them being friends, like fucking their feud starts off with just like, oh, you won the Rumble, that's great, I knew you could do it. You're going to be challenging me now. It's like, you're going to fucking bring it. I know you're going to bring it. I'm going to bring it. Both going to bring it. It's going to be Broughton, So
it will be brung.
It's going to be Broughton. All right, Broughton, like Bratwurst.
Broughton.
Okay.
I got photoshops in my head already cooking that, man.
All right, so that scenario could happen. And again, this all is leading up to a fucking Roman turn because I want that turn to happen.
Yeah, no, I want
it to be Roman.
I want that turn to happen.
Like, fucking enough fucking times of Roman getting booed during this feud because they want Dean to win. You know, as many Roman fans as there are, they're also Dean fans, probably more so. So it's like, you know, it would all lead up to fucking Dean maybe winning at WrestleMania, or the actual heel turn happening, to where like he finally sides with the Authority. Hopefully the Authority's dead by then, but they're not going to be. So just for the sake of argument, you know, fucking Roman finally sides with the Authority. Or you could even have this be Dean's heel turn, even though that'd be dumb because no one wants to boo Dean. They want to boo Roman. But either way, I think one of those two matches is going to happen at WrestleMania. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be super upset because then fucking what? You're going to have Sheamus win at the Rumble. Sheamus going to beat whoever he fucking deals with at Fastlane. And then have Roman win again. And then fucking have Sheamus versus Roman at WrestleMania? Is that what they're going to do? Are they going to try to do that? I really fucking hope not.
I'll shoot myself
in the face.
I'll shoot myself in the
dick. You could say, oh, maybe Roman versus Brock Lesnar 2 at WrestleMania. Maybe Brock Lesnar wins the Rumble this year. But then do you really want Brock Lesnar to lose against Roman?
No.
Because you know he's not going to fucking win again.
You've already killed all the heat that breaking the streak has.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar is never winning the title again. The way that he's booked, they're not going to do that again. They're going to do any fucking fuck finish in the world to keep him strong, unless it's Roman. But he's never touching that title again. Like, fucking, if it does happen, then I will be surprised as shit. But it's not going to happen. They're not going to let Brock Lesnar keep the title hostage anymore. So, like, if you're saying, oh, that'd be, you know, what if Brock Lesnar comes in, demolishes the Rumble because he's the fucking man, and then he faces whoever the champion is at the Rumble at fucking WrestleMania. You're literally saying you can't wait for Brock Lesnar to lose and whoever's got the title at WrestleMania, which is going to be either fucking Roman Reigns. It can only be Roman Reigns. They're not going to let Sheamus keep it that long. There's no way. I give WWE credit.
Here you go again, using that logic. That's very dangerous of you, sir.
Here's the thing, though.
Very dangerous.
They have to know. They have to know that Sheamus is not fucking WrestleMania WWE champion. Unless that's not going to be the main event of the show. If it's not going to be the final match on the card, like let's say maybe they do Undertaker versus John Cena, like there's rumors for, maybe that's going to main event, then it doesn't matter who the fucking champion is. Because like then you could have Sheamus versus fucking Jack Swagger for the WWE title. Don't fucking matter.
Don't say that. Don't say World WWE World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus versus United States Champion Jack Swagger.
Oh shit. Okay, there is no way that they are going to let Sheamus get to WrestleMania with the title. If they do, I'm going to be so fucking upset about it. Like, there's no fucking way. There's no way that even the dumbasses at WWE, there's no way that they could be that stupid to not realize that Sheamus is a paper champion right now. Like, and realistically, between now and WrestleMania, there's no other way to do it than to have Roman win at either the Rumble or even fucking TLC. Like, they could fucking just, you know, expedite the process. The only other way that they could have a realistic feud is to have Roman literally lose at TLC, and then that's it. And then fuck off, and then whoever else they want to challenge 2 pay-per-views in a row. That's literally the only possible way, but I highly doubt that will happen. So I believe that regardless of what match happens, Roman Reigns is going to be the one with the title going into WrestleMania. I'm like 99.9999 point pi, you know, positive that that's going to be the case, because there's no fucking way.
Here we go again with your misplaced optimism.
Is it optimism? Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it?
That Sheamus doesn't have the belt yet. I mean, I'd be highly surprised if Sheamus having the belt going into Mania.
I mean, Sheamus is such a paper champion. You could fucking, you know, he's white. He's white as paper. Like you it's written.
That's his
back
gimmick
in red ink. that Sheamus is a paper champion. There's no way. I'm upset that there's another paper champion in 2015 because, you think about the people that's held the belt before him. Fucking Seth Rollins held it for a long time. John Cena held it for long enough. Plus, he's John Cena. Fucking Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena. Held it for quite a while. Lost it at WrestleMania. They were kind of building up the legitimacy of the belt a little bit more with those last 3 reigns. You could say Rollins had a shitty reign, and obviously it was kind of shitty because he's a chicken shit heel. That's what they do. They have shitty reigns. You could say JBL had the greatest reign of all time for a heel all you want. That doesn't mean that it wasn't shitty, because he was just doing chicken shit the entire chicken shit time. Mm-hmm. That's what they're supposed to be. That's why I didn't like Rollins being a chicken shit heel. He's great. I digress. Okay? Those are still long reigns by people who fucking held the belt. We didn't have fucking 2-month title reigns where somebody who clearly didn't need the belt or deserved the belt had the belt, like fucking The Miz. The Miz didn't come back and win the belt. Jack Swagger didn't come back and win the belt.
Jack Swagger, what are you doing off Superstars?
Fuck. Alright? I'm upset. But
it was like the Raw after Survivor Series. And it was like, oh, Rusev's in Raw? Jack Swagger's in Raw? Who's gonna book Superstars?
It's gonna be Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch again.
I need to show you the copy pasta I have for Rusev. It's like Rusev sitting in his hotel room with Lana, and then he gets a phone call from Vince, and Lana's like, oh, my Bulgarian beauty's gonna have another shot. I thought we had burned all those bridges. And then it's Vince, and he's like, yeah, Rusev, after your honeymoon, I want you to come back looking strong. I need you to really do us a solid. We're gonna put you in the main event picture. And Rusev's like, this is amazing. And then, but it's like he hears a laugh of a certain Attitude Era top draw in the background. And then they bust out laughing. It's like Triple H and Vince. And they're like, we're just pulling your leg. We're booking you versus Jack Swagger on Superstars when you get back. And like the last line is, and make sure to pack some lipstick. We need you to look convincing when you challenge Charlotte for the title.
Okay. Something I wanted to bring up and talk about, assuming you've seen it.
Yeah.
Did you see the latest episode of Up, Down, Down, Up, Up, Down, Down?
No, you told me about it. I haven't seen it.
The one where they play fucking Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition?
Yeah, they play CE.
Dude, it was amazing.
I need to watch it.
It was literally only like 2 minutes of gameplay, but it was like a 10-minute video.
Of shit talking.
You got fucking Braun Strowman in the background, Bray Wyatt fucking sitting there watching these two dudes play Championship Edition. Fucking apparently fucking Luke Harper is the commissioner.
Oh gosh.
This is best timeline right here. And fucking, the Intercontinental title on Up, Up, Down, Down means more than the Intercontinental title on WWE TV.
Right.
And it's you gotta watch it.
I gotta watch it. Okay. It's I think we've run out of reasons to digress. We gotta cut this thing off. It's an hour and a half.
We still made an hour and a half.
We did a good job. But if we go any further from here, we're just treading water and talking about dumb shit that we can. Also, it's midnight. I need to go to bed. Also, it's midnight. I need to go to bed. Oh, anyways, that's it for us here at Unnamed Wrestling Podcast. We will see you guys again for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs.
Oh my.
Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, where the Dudley Boys are not
in
the TLC match. Good night.
Worst timeline. What the fuck? God damn it.